Oh, yeah. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Let it hit for you. Yeah. What's up, everybody? It's Jason, the host of the Bro Show podcast, bringing you something new for 2022 in conjunction with my YouTube channel, NP3D. This is episode 1 of season 3. And I've got some big plans for 2022. I'm so excited to bring this to you. We're in studio and I'm by myself. This is a change you may or may not like, but for those of you guys that follow me on my YouTube channel, we're bringing it live to you. I'm going to just play it as we go, put this together. I'm going to drop this on my podcast. It's called The Bro Show. You can find me on iTunes. You can find me on Spotify. You can find me on, I think it's iHeartRadio. You can find me, you can pretty much find me anywhere. If you look us up, The Bro Show, I'll put a picture on my YouTube channel so you can actually see what the logo is, but you can find me. And at one point, and maybe still when we were doing the Bro Show podcast, we were the #1 search for the Bro Show. So we got to make that happen. But it's 2022, and I'm so excited to bring you guys the podcast. I'm so excited to incorporate my NP3D followers, listeners, you guys that are watching my YouTube channel. This is new. This is something new. We're trying something new for 22. I don't know if that's a slogan. I don't know if we're going to go with that. But for me, something new for 2022. So let's talk about how we're doing this. So the Bro Show podcast, when we left off, I had, with my buddy Justin and Jesse, we had almost 6,000 listeners in 16 countries. I know, pretty big. I mean, for a podcast, we were doing it every week. We went for over a year, and things just fell off. You guys will saw my last video. Things just fell off. You know, people get busy, but let me just tell you, we've got big things planned for 2022. And when I say we, me, because I don't know who's going to be on here. I don't know if I'm going to do some video collaborations with some of my friends. I've got a lot of interesting friends out there. So if you're one of my friends, if you're one of the people that know me and you have something you want to talk about, reach out. I can put you on here. We can get on the podcast. We can talk about it. But keep in mind, we're going to do the video as well as the podcast. So let's talk about the podcast a little bit. The Bro Show podcast, also with this NP3D podcast, you know, we're just going to combine them for right now. I don't see the point, honestly, financially, in breaking them apart and doing 2 different podcasts as I'm doing it. But we'll just do it this way for right now, and you know, it'll break it up a little bit. Right now, we're just going to combine the 2 and see where we go. You know, it's 2022. I say do what you want to do in 2022. How's that? Because honestly, who cares? Have fun. Do you. Have a great time. Don't worry about what everybody else thinks. Don't worry about what anybody else does. Because honestly, if I live that way on my YouTube channel or my podcast or anything that I do, I honestly don't think I'd do anything. Who knows? Like this lady says here, you got to turn up. You know what I mean? And probably a lot of you guys are thinking, hey, you know, how are you playing this music and not getting a copyright claim? Well, I pay for Epidemic Sound, and I'm just going to let this play in the background every once in a while. You know, I'm going to do the podcast. I'm going to pick, I don't know what I've got going on here. I'm just going to let this sucker play. Maybe sometimes the songs will be amazing. Maybe the songs will be stinky. Who knows? But we're going to have a good time. But what are we doing today? What's the very first show of the Bro Show going to be about? We're going to talk about the top 10 New Year's resolutions for 2022. And feel free to reach out to me on my YouTube channel. Be sure to reach out to me on my Instagram, which is NP3D. Send me a message. If you're my friend on Facebook, send me a message. Something maybe you're trying for 2022. What are your New Year's resolutions that you guys are doing? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I've got none. I have zeros. I know that I'm going to be positive and all that. We talked about that in my last video, but let's kind of get down to it. Let's talk about the top 10 for 2022 and let's see what y'all think. All right, so let's talk about the top 10 New Year's resolutions for 2022. I'm going to start at 10 and work our way down. Some of them will be super lame. Some of them, hey, we may stop and talk about them a little bit. We'll just see. Number 10, look for a new job. I'm not going to be looking for a new job. I'm a teacher. I'm a photographer. I love what I do. I love my side grind. I love what I do. So I'm not looking for a new job, but I might be looking for new jobs, photography things. I might look at that as looking for a new job as like maybe a new avenue, which I've not explored, which is kind of what I'm doing, combining these two things. So if you're out there and you're not happy with your job, if you're young, if you're somebody who's in a job that you hate, that you're not enjoying, hey, that's actually a pretty good one. Why be miserable? You know what I'm saying? 2021 was crazy. There's no sense in being miserable. Get out there. Maybe you do need to look for a new job. So if what you're doing is not working for you, 100%, get out your comfort zone a little bit. If you hate your job, and to be honest with you, who does love their job all the time? Nobody loves their job all the time. I mean, if you do, kudos to you. But even with my job, I love it. But there's times it's challenging. I work with kids. They're aliens. So, I love them all the time, but they're aliens. And they're your children, so they're tough. But so that's number 10. Is find a new job or jobs or a side grind. Maybe, who knows? Next one is be more environmental friendly. Now, this may or may not be something you're into, but we can all be honest and say there's things that we probably do that we could probably waste less, do a little more things that's a little bit more environmentally friendly. Now, something that I think that I want to do is maybe stop being lazy and use plates instead of paper plates. It's more convenient for my family to use paper plates because we don't have to dirty up dishes. But, there's a trade-off. You use paper plates, you use more paper products. But if you use regular plates, you use a lot of water and things like that to wash. So I don't know. So maybe, I don't know, maybe, I can't really carpool to work. So that doesn't really work. But one thing I can do, and I know when I used to fly fish, I would pick up trash along the stream and put them in a little bag. So that's something you could probably do that would be a little bit more environmentally friendly. If you can, try some things, just small things. We're talking small little changes that make huge differences. My wife, I'm going to call her out really quick. She is what I call the queen of the paper towels. Sorry, honey. I'm calling you out. She uses paper towels for everything, and I'm not just talking a little. If a dog TT's on the floor, oh my gosh, she uses half the roll to clean it up, and then she has to wet one and wipe it down. Now, don't tell her, but that's not what I do when I clean it up. But she's way prettier than me. And she does everything the right way. I'm just going to be the quick and easy guy. I'm going to get it cleaned up before anybody sees it. And, I just hope that my wife doesn't get down on the floor and smell the wood floors. Now, obviously, if it's bad, I clean it up. But, I'm just going to wipe it up. If it's small, little tinkle from the dogs, no big deal. All right, number 8. It says take up a new hobby, a sport, or an interest. And I will tell you something, guys. If that has hit you, you need to do that. I would encourage everybody, especially those of you out there that don't have a hobby that you do. Sorry, I'm going to make sure my TV didn't come on here. I do like it. I've got a TV behind me, and I do like it when it's lit up. It gives me a little more light. Hobbies are key, okay? A sport, working out, things like that. Something interests you, but, photography at one time was just something fun that I did. Something fun that turned into a passion that turned into something else for me. So I don't know what that might be for you, but find something that you're interested in, that you're passionate about. And 100%, I believe everybody needs to have some kind of a hobby or sport or an activity that they do. Maybe it's sewing. Maybe it's crochet for you. I don't know. But pick something up. Maybe do something that's totally outside of the realm of things that you do. I think that's great. Who knows? All right. So that's big, huge hobbies. You've got to do that. All right. Next one, travel more. Oh my gosh. Listen, I feel like we've done a lot of traveling. I think we're limited a little bit more with some of the COVID restrictions. I hate even saying that word, but traveling more is something I plan on doing in 2022. As a matter of fact, my wife is planning a really cool trip in July. We're going to go out to Yellowstone, so that's a big trip. I mean, we're always going to Universal. We always go to Florida. So this year we're going to try something different a little bit. We're still going to go to Universal, still going to do that, but we're going to add that. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to actually get to fly fish out there. I'll probably do a YouTube video on it, so pay attention to that. That's going to be something cool that I'm going to do. Who knows? Maybe I'll do a podcast from there, or I'll record it while I'm there just to kind of talk about what we're doing and maybe combine it with this. So I think you should travel more, and it doesn't have to be out of the country. It could be within and around the states that you travel. Do something different. Go places you haven't gone before. I'm really bad about going to the same places we gone, especially going to Universal and things, but we just really love that trip. It's something where we don't have to spend a lot of money in addition to be able to have fun. I mean, we do spend money, but it's like we don't have to go other places. We don't have to go to the beach and then go to putt-putt. We don't have to go to the beach and then do go-karts. We do all the rides that are there, so it's part of our package. So travel more. I think that's big. All right, number 6. It said sort out your finances and cut back on your spending. Okay, I'm bad about this, but I've been getting better. So when I go out and I do something and make a little bit of money, I was constantly looking for something else, some gadget, something that I could purchase. Oh my gosh, if you saw down in my studio, you would probably laugh your head off. I mean, you know, they call me the hobby hopper. So I'm bad about it. But here's the thing. You know, if I spend it, I've made it. So there you go. But I do think that, you know, I have been better about saving my money and waiting to do, not just looking to purchase something every time. Now, I will tell you, I do have some Amazon gift cards. Thank you, family, for my birthday a while back in September before everything went crazy for me. I got all these gift cards, so I plan on spending those. I've got a good little nest egg of those. And because we didn't get to do Christmas with the in-laws, they're going to be coming in next weekend, I think. Yes, next weekend we're going to do Christmas, and I think I've got some gift cards. So I'm waiting to see kind of what I got. I'm just building up this little nest egg of Amazon gift cards. So anyway, spend other people's money. That's what you need to do. So sort out your finances. That's big. You know, don't spend more than you make. Obviously, that's duh. But maybe start putting things in order. You know, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit more later on, but I have started investing a little bit because honestly, I've always kind of been afraid to do anything with the stock market, but I'm starting to get a little bit more savvy with it. And thanks to my neighbor, JC, shout out to JC. He's been kind of helping me along and encouraging me to invest. So I've got some investments. I even have some Bitcoin. I mean, you know, I'm a nerd. I like Bitcoin. I'm trying it. I don't know. I'm not going to do the mining. There's a lot of people out there who do that, and I know it's a big thing, but I'm starting small. And we're going to build from there. So that's one big thing. I'm looking at my finances and just kind of cutting back a little bit on spending. And my wife, for 2022, we've said we're only going to order out. I hope you're listening to this, my love. Is we're going to order out once a week. We're really bad about DoorDash. DoorDash is our best friend. Okay, so we're gonna cut back on that once a week. So that's one thing that we can do. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to look at things that I've subscribed to. It might be a Patreon. It might be it might be something like on Prime or some type of movie channel that I've subscribed to that I just need to let it go. That's $4 that I need back every month. Or maybe it's a big thing. I had Switcher Studio, and it's awesome and everything, but I was paying quite a bit for that monthly, and I just dropped that recently. And so for the last 2 or 3 months, that was a big thing. I paid off my Jeep in 2021, which is a big thing. So I'm saving money there. Okay, I got a lot of stuff coming up in the next little bit. So sort your finances. That's a big one. All right, let's go down to number 5. Be more aware and take care of your mental health. Do I need to say more? Okay, I feel like that's so important. You know, I would tell you that even though in my last video I you know, kind of got vulnerable for you guys, I tend to not say a lot when I'm upset. And I just kind of keep it inside. But I do believe that we need to work on the mental health. So maybe it's yoga. You know, maybe it's some woosah. I don't know what you do. I'm old, so I'm trying to think of the word. Like, I know there's like just kind of sit and kind of meditate. That's the word. Yes, meditate. You need to meditate, you know. Sit around and just kind of find your inner self and say, What am I? Who am I? When am I? When am I? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's a good thing is be more aware, take care of your mental health. That's big. If you know something's wrong, deal with it. You know, I know a lot of my friends, and I'm not calling anybody out, but a lot of my friends and even their spouses, they realize they have a lot of anxiety and they deal with that. And one of the ways they deal with it, they have a medication out there, believe it or not, for anxiety. And I am such a fan for those people out there that are just ridden with anxiety, and there's something out there, and it's not something that's addictive. It's not something that's going to mess you up. But I will tell you, if you're someone who deals with anxiety, speak to your doctor because it is life-changing, okay? I'll just leave it at that, you know? Look into it if you have issues with anxiety. And believe it or not, there's a lot of people out there that deal with anxiety, and they're too anxious to talk about it. So imagine that. All right, there we go. So let's move on. That was number 5. All right, here we go. Number 4. This is huge. And I am so guilty of this. Spend more time with family and friends. Now, COVID, so we're having a hard time with that, you know. But I will tell you, people are doing more, and I guess maybe that's why people are getting a little more sick. Who knows with the new variant that's out there? But I do think you need to spend more time with family and friends. You know, losing my brother Jamie made me realize that I should have reached out to him much earlier than I did, to kind of fix things with him so that I'm not dealing with this regret of maybe some time that we didn't get to spend with each other. And we kept saying we were going to do things and we didn't. So spend time with family and friends. And when I say that, okay, it's not sitting around on your phone. Okay. It's not sitting around on your devices. It's just hanging out. Maybe it's watching a movie. Maybe it's cuddle up beside your wife. Maybe it's, you know, hanging out with the guys, you know, maybe it's out back, you know, have a little fire like we had. I have a little fire pit, and some of the best times I've been having, you know, in the last little bit is getting the guys to come out there and making a little fire and sitting out there and just hanging out, you know. There's a lot of problems can be solved over a little backyard pit of fire. So don't discount it. Reach out to your family. Make sure they know you love them. If you can't visit them, at least call them. I mean, we're all victim of doing that. Call your grandparents. Let them know you love them. You know, they're not around that long, so you need to do those things because there's so much regret that I have. Like when my grandmother passed away and I knew she was getting down towards the end, I will tell you I have this avoidance thing that I do that when I know something bad's going to happen, I tend to avoid it. I don't know if you do this, but I'm bad about doing it. And so I love my grandmother. My granny, you know, she was amazing. But I know that when it started getting down towards the end, I almost felt like I avoided contact as much as like getting around because I felt like maybe it's just my survival instinct of how to not deal with pain. But I look back on that now and I really wish that I had spent more time, went out and saw her more and doing things like that. It's when Joshua was first born. He was only like a couple of years old when my granny passed away. So I really wish I'd spent more time with her and really reached out more. That's one of my regrets. So I would say that's a huge one. And that's number 4. That's still really big. So what's left if that's number 4? Number 3. It says, get fitter and take more exercise. I don't know who wrote this, but get fitter and take more exercise. Okay. I will say getting fit is huge. Okay. Not getting fat. Okay. Getting fit. I am a fat man roller coaster. Let me just tell you. Okay. In my lifetime, I've been fat, lesser fat, the least fat, and then fat again. And now I'm kind of in between. I'm chunky. I'm just fluffy right now, and I need to bring that down because honestly, this virus that's going around, I tell everybody it does not like chunky people very much. It doesn't like anybody, but it's a lot more aggressive for us out there that are a little bit more chunky, you know, dealing with, you know, issues with, you know, if you're a big guy, you know, when I do exercise, I breathe pretty heavy. It's probably not good for me to have any issues with my lungs and things like that. So I would agree with that. Get fitter, take on more exercise. It says get fitter, take more exercise. I don't know who wrote that, but you need to exercise more. And that's something that 2022 is going to be something that I really want to start doing. Maybe it's just push-ups every day. Maybe it's some push-ups and some planks. I'm not going to demonstrate those for you guys, but maybe that's something you can do. Something small. Start small. Little tiny ripples turn into massive waves. Okay. All right. So there's one big thing. Let's get to number 2. Okay. Number 2. Sorry. I still got a little sniffle. Eat healthier or change your diet. Now, I will tell you, when I lost 85, 87 pounds, I will tell you that the biggest thing, exercise was big, but I will tell you, eating to live instead of living to eat became huge for me. And that's so cliche, blah, 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 whatever. But I will tell you, when I started just eating to get food in my body so my body worked better instead of just being happier the way it tasted, that was when things really changed for me, seeing food as fuel and not as fat, which is what it turns into when you're not careful. Okay. So that's a big thing is eating healthier, and that may be just eating less too. It could be eating less, picking different times. And I know when I went through and I did intermittent fasting, and it was on the Bro Show, we talked about it. Intermittent fasting worked a lot for me. I went, a long time without eating. After I went to bed, I didn't eat until 11 o'clock the next day. And I, it was big. And at 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever time it was, I didn't eat anything after a certain time. And then it's basically 7 o'clock and I was done. I would encourage you, intermittent fasting for men, especially, not so much for women. You could do it, but there's some things you got to think about if you're going to do intermittent fasting. Especially it deals with your menstrual cycle. It will mess with that. Sorry, on the Bro Show, we're talking about that, but it could mess with that. And if it does start to do that, you need to taper off from that. But intermittent fasting is huge. Honestly, just eating less is huge. There's actually a study out there in some of these older tribes and things, the people that live to be long age, they're thin, they're slender. Fat people don't live for a very long time sometimes. I would say if you had a fat person and a slender person, I'm not saying all skinny people are healthy, but a lot of older people are more slender. You don't see a lot of big fat boy old men, unless you're talking about me. But hey, I'm cool old fat guy. Okay, I'm chunky. I'm fluffy. Let's not say fat. I'm fluffy. I could be better, and I'm going to be better. Something new in 22. Okay. All right. Let's see. That was number 2, changing diet and eating healthier. The number 1, and it's almost like a big thing with number 2. I will tell you this. I would say 95% of all of my friends are or will tell you that they need to lose weight. And that's the number 1 goal. So if you've already said to yourself for 2022, I need to lose weight, you're not alone, because evidently it's the top 10. And I will tell you for 2022, because big announcement, I've got a boat coming in May, and I want to be able to take, believe it or not, I want to be able to take my shirt off and be on my boat. And I want to be able to ride around without a shirt on. Fat guy in a wet t-shirt. I don't want to do that. I want to be, I'm not going to be skinny, obviously. I would like to be less chunky, okay, for my water sport events. Yeah. So I'm going to lose some weight. So some things that I'm going to do here, maybe get a little more active, some push-ups, some planks, push away from the table. Take a plank and smack myself in the face when I'm trying to eat too much. That's big. But losing weight, that's number 1. So let's see. Oh, that's the wrong sound. Let me turn this one down and turn these up. Let's see if it's this one. Nope, that's not it. Nope. There we go. So that's the top 10 New Year's resolutions. And there it is. So anyway, for episode 1 of the Bro Show for season 3, and for my very first show / podcast for my YouTube channel as well, I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode. I kind of want to do something like this for every episode. So if there's something you think is interesting, something that you think is going to be something you want to know about, hear about, whether it's nerdy, I'm going to have some things on here and tell you maybe the top 10 things about Universal, top 10 things I like about this or that. And maybe you guys can get on here with me. So if you're interested, let me know. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate you guys. Let's build a community. Let's be positive. And let's make something new happen in 2022 that's epic and amazing. From NP3D, from the Bro Show, I appreciate you guys. And that's all. Peace. See you next time. Episode 2.